Hey guys, what's up? This is my first time doing YouTube. A couple friends told me I should get into comedy, and some people told me I should make a start on YouTube. So here I am. Just to give you a heads up, my name's Jay, um, and I'll go ahead and tell you straight up. I love music, and I love comedy, and I love weed. I smoke a lot of weed, and that's about it. Now, I'm not one of those huge stoners who just does nothing all day. I do have a job. As you can see, I work at Jimmy John's. Make sandwiches. I'm about to get a second job at Subway just because I need more money. I'm about to get my own apartment soon, and I'm saving up to get another car with a buddy of mine. But that's not that matters. I'll go ahead and tell you, dude. Most of this comedy is probably gonna revolve around, dude, this one time when I was stoned, or dude, this one time at band camp. It's probably gonna revolve around a lot of that. Now, I'm going to get started, dude. Some people ask me, like, dude, what's the most highest you ever been? I'm like, what? And they'll be like, yeah, dude, like, try to remember, what's the most high you've ever been? That's a hard question. I said, I can tell you that right away. I said, one time I went to my buddy O's house. That's not his name, but he's asked me not to reveal, any name or information just because he was a dealer. And I said, okay. So one time I went to my buddy O's house, and he rolls up a blunt. Well, he laces the entire inside of the blunt with wax. Like, just lace the entire inside of the swisher with wax. Then he rolls up this fat blunt, like, straight up the size of my finger. He rolls up this fat swisher. And then halfway down, he spikes it with wax. In case y'all who don't know what wax is like super high concentrated THC, and it comes in the form of wax. It's really gooey, really sticky. You can get it in crumble and other things, but his was just straight wax. So we smoke it, and we get halfway down through it. And he turns on the TV. Something that his kid was watching earlier comes on. It was like a cartoon. It was, I think it was Curious George or something. And he's sitting there looking at the remote like, yo, I don't know how to change this shit, so we're just gonna watch it. I'm too high to think of it. And I'm like, yeah, dude. He's like, all right, man, you hungry? And I'm like, yeah, dude. He's like, what you want? I'm just like, yeah, dude. He was like, all right, you hungry? And I'm like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, that's what I thought. And I was like, hell yeah, dude. He's like, yeah, let's just chill out a minute. I was like, yeah, dude. He's like, all right, man. And about 20 minutes later, just staring straight off into the TV. Like, I don't even think we were watching the show. I think we were just watching the world around us, and the TV happened to be there. Like, that's how I remember it. And I remember at one point he's looking at me and he's like, yo, bro, you okay, Jay? And I'm like, dude, I think I just jizzed my pants. He starts laughing. He said, fool, what'd you say? And I was like, dude, I think I just jizzed my pants. He's like, man, get your hands up. Go in the bathroom and check. So I go in the bathroom and I check and I'm just come out and I'm just like, yeah, dude. He's like, you just yourself? And I was like, yeah, dude. He's like, man, get in the car. We taking your stoned ass home. So we in the car and he's like, hey, man, whatever you do, don't let your parents catch you, man. I don't want you in trouble. By the way, when this happened, I was in high school. I was a junior in high school. And I still live with my parents. Well, I go to my parents' house, and my mom's just standing there. She's like, Jay, are you high? And I'm like, nah, dude, I'm Jay. She's like, man, get your stone ass to your room. Don't ever want to hear you come in this house high again. And she's screaming and yelling at me. And the only thing that's I could hear in my head is, damn, man, I really want some brownies. Fuck, man, I want some chips, too. So halfway up the stairs, I come down the stairs. I start going to the kitchen. She's like, no. Go to your room. Go to your room. And I'm just like, bitch, I want some brownies. No, it's 3 in the morning. You don't get no damn ass brownies. Go to your room. And I'm like, can I at least get a cup of water? She's like, fine, you get some water. So I go in there. I get a cup of water. She turns around. I open the fridge and I stuff my shirt with the first thing I got my hands on. And I book it upstairs. And I shut my door and I pull out my shit, see what I got. And I was like, butter, cheese, 2 slices of bread. Fuck. I don't need the butter, cheese, bread. Good enough. I eat that. My parents go to sleep. I go put the butter back in the fridge. And I remember going to sleep. and I put in my headphones. I turn on my music on my phone, and literally, right as I set my phone down, my boy O texts me. He said, "Hey, bro, whatever you do, if you're gonna listen to music, don't put headphones in. I just tried it, and now I don't know where I am." I remember that only because the next day I remember looking back at that message and be like, "Oh yeah." But I was too high to pay attention, so I put my headphones in anyways. And I remember waking up. I don't even remember if I woke up. I just remember being in another universe, and I was just like, "Whoa, whoa!" it was an experience, man. But past that, let me tell you another story. One time I was smoking with my friends. By the way, this is probably like the gnarliest thing I've ever done. One time I was smoking with a couple friends, and we had a bong, had an ice tray, and everything. It was a nice fancy bong. Well, we'd go through the woods and down this trail. We would go down the trail and everything, and there was this big bush, like this big shrubbery, and we had carved out the inside of it, so it was almost like a little shed, and it could fit about 3 or 4 people in there. Well, we used to sit inside of that, and we used to sit there and smoke the bong. It was the coolest, like, smoke spot ever. And one time we were sitting there and we were smoking about an ounce on that in our little spot. We were smoking about an ounce, and about halfway through that ounce, it passed me the bong. And I took such this massive rip, like it literally looked like someone had filled the entire bong with milk. That's how massive this hit was. And all I remember is hearing, "Holy shit, dude, your nose is bleeding!" And I'm just sitting there like, "What the fuck?" Coughing my ass up and stuff, and I'm just like, "Damn, dude, that's gnarly." I'm holding it back. I had ripped the bong so hard, and I was so stoned that my nose started bleeding in mid-hit. Funniest shit ever, dude. It was some pretty gnarly stuff. And about the third rotation, after that, the third rotation comes by, and my boy Alex looking at me, he's like, "Yo, Jay, you sure you good for another hit?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I be?" He's like, "Dude, your nose is bleeding earlier." And I'm sitting there like, "Oh shit, my nose is bleeding?" He's like, "No, it was earlier." And I'm like, "I don't, if you say so, man." I hit the handwaves, and they just look at me like, "You dumb motherfucker." Let me tell you, dude, I do have 2 little brothers, Nick and Richard. I love them to death, dude. 2 best bros I ever had, man. They're great. I love them to death. And they're not really blood. I met them a couple years ago, and when I first met them, I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school when I first met them. And they lived in my neighborhood, and I always thought they were just these, little punks that nobody liked, like 13 and 14. I just thought they were the biggest punks, and I just wanted to smack the shit out of them. Well, one day I was at the pool in my neighborhood, and I found a Pringles can. I looked inside of it. There was a baggie, and I was like, "Oh shit, I just got lucky." Opened up the baggie, and bam, there was some weed in there. Well, these 2 kids come up behind me, Nick and Richard, like, "Hey Ethan, what you got there?" And I was just like, "Oh, it's you two." "Yeah, man. You guys ever smoke some marijuana?" And at that moment, I felt like that one kid that your teachers in middle school and elementary school warned you about. That one kid who would come up to you and be like, "You kids want to try some drugs?" I was that kid that your teachers warned you about. I was just like sitting there like, "Kids want to try some drugs?" They're like, "Oh yeah, dude, my grandpa does drugs." And I'm like, "Oh, he probably takes Tylenol or pain prescription." And I pull it out, and he's like, "Oh, dude, man, this stuff smells almost as dank as my grandpa's stuff." And I was like, "Oh, well, your terminology's correct. Your grandpa smokes his weed?" It's like, "Yeah, dude, we wake up every night and it smells so bad." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so it's not too bad if I smoke with him, you know?" So I take him out back. I had this tiny little keychain bowl, and I packed it up for him. And I was like, "All right, guys, let me show you how to smoke." I taught him how to corner it, taught him how to inhale, deep breaths, hold it, all the fun shebang. And he said, "Oh, tomorrow, when we get off from school, our grandparents won't be home until like 5 o'clock. And we get off the bus at 4. He's like, "So you can come over and we can get some weed?" I was like, "Oh yeah, dude, that's cool." Thinking like maybe they just had a little bag we could take like a little nug. That's all I thought. Well, the next day I get there and he's like, "Oh man, I forgot." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Our grandparents locked the door." was like, I got you. So I pulled out my credit card. I went, opened the door. Those little kids thought I was fucking James Bond just because I did that. They were like, whoa, dude, that's so cool. You could pick a lock. And I'm like, doo-doo. It's cool. So they go in there, and I was like, all right, man, just take a little bit. Don't take too much. You don't want to make it noticeable. He's like, oh, okay, that's fine. And I'm turning around. I don't want to snoop through the room. Opening the door was enough for me. They could get in trouble by the rest. I didn't know these kids at the time that well. I just wanted free weed. When he comes out there with this handfuls of weed, he's like, is this enough? And I'm looking down, and I look up, and they got this big-ass jar slapped full of weed. And I'm like, maybe just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So I took another handful. He shoved it in the bag. We went upstairs. I showed him how to make a bong. We closed the door, locked it, put everything back. And we smoking so much up in his room. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is the best weed I ever fucking had, man. And that's how I met my little brothers. Ever since then, every single day, I would come home from them. I would come home from school, and every day we'd go up and we'd just smoke. And that's where I met my little brothers. And after hanging out with them so long, I met their grandpa and their grandma, who they lived with. And after hanging out with them so long, for about 3 years now, they just became really close to me. At one point when I got kicked out of my parents' house, they took me in. Even though I worked, they wouldn't allow me to pay rent. They wouldn't allow me to pay anything. They just took me in. And at that point, that's kind of where they were my family. Like when I'd go to school, people would be like, oh yeah, that's Jay and his little brother Nick. And I'd be like, no, we're just good friends. Well, it kind of stuck. Like, yeah, it's my little brother. So, if my little brothers are watching this, shout out to you two guys. You guys are the best little bros. I love you guys. You guys are dope. You guys remember the good times. The one time we got caught, though, his grandma caught us. We go in the room, and there's just a little nug sitting, and that's all that's left. And he's just like, dude, do you think if we take this, they'll notice? And we're just like, well, they smoke so much, they'd probably forget that they had it. And they just left it out from overnight. So we grabbed it anyways. Closed the door. We smoked a little bit. Now, Richard, he could do some pretty funny impressions after we smoked. He could do pretty funny impressions. If you guys have ever seen the Cleveland Show, there was, God, what's that big bitch's name? The redneck's wife. The one who loves food and stuff. She could do that high-pitched voice. Well, my little bro Richard could do that voice perfectly. And he would always say, cheesecake makes me horny. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. One time we found a thing of cheesecake after we'd smoked. And we're trying to find Richard, and for some reason he thought we were playing hide and seek. So we're like, Richard, come here, we want you to do the voice, because we got a thing of cheesecake. We want to see him come up into it and be like, cheesecake makes me horny. While looking at it, we wanted to get it on video. We don't know why. So we're like, Richard, where are you? Richard, come on out. Couldn't find Richard. Right then and there, I yell, Richard, if you don't come out, we're not smoking again. Right when I said that, his grandma walked in the front door and she's like, what? Y'all aren't doing what now? I'm just like, what? She's like, what'd you say? I was like, what'd you say? She's like, Richard! Motherfucker pops up from behind the couch right there, and I'm like, God damn it. She's looking at him. She goes in her room. She doesn't even go in her room. She opens the door and turns around. She's like, I knew it. I knew it. Y'all be stealing my weed. And we're just like, we don't know what you're talking about. It's like, I set you guys up. We thought something was missing. Every night, we noticed just a little bit was missing. So we set you guys up. I'm sitting there laughing on the inside because I thought by, this giant-ass handful was just a little bit missing. I thought that was pretty funny. I'm trying not to laugh, though. I set you guys up. I could smell it. I could see it. Y'all are high. And right then and there, we all just started busting out laughing. She's like, what'd I say? What'd I say? Y'all are high. And we were sitting there and said, look, dude, I'm sorry we took your weed. But if it makes you feel any better, it's some damn good weed. And I gave her $20. And I was like, all right, there's your weed. And it's happy. She's like, you think this is going to pay for it? I was like, in all honesty, we only took like that much. So yeah, $20 is more than enough. She's like, it's the fact that you guys took it. And I said, look, we're sorry. We should have asked. That's it. Well, I spent the night at their house that night. And later that night, their grandpa gets home. And he calls us downstairs. Grandma done gone to bed. He's like, found out your boy's been taking my weed without asking. We're like, yeah, we're sorry, Grandpa. He's just like, Shit, y'all could have just told me. I would have smoked with you. He opens up his joint. He's got a shit ton of weed. He's like, now let's smoke a doobie. He rolls up a doobie. We're smoking it. We're watching Transformers. And we're watching Transformers. We're so high. Me and Nick are just sitting there like, dude, they're fucking cars. But now they're robots. Explosions. Damn. But it's a different story, man. I'm sorry I kept you guys here for so long. You know, I just ramble on a lot of times. This is also my first video. I will let you know, normally I'll just try to keep my videos between 5-10 minutes shorts, just quick little sessions. But I really hope you guys enjoy this. And I'll tell you a lot more of stuff. Normally it'll be stuff that happened that day. Just today, nothing really happened. I went to work, I did my work, and I came home. Nothing really big. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys at least giving me a shot, and at least giving me a try. I'd love to see you guys again. Leave in the comments what you think. Ask me any questions, I'll answer them honestly. But you know what? You guys are great. Have a great day. Hopefully I can get some likes and subscribes. I'm not going to ask for them because it's my first video, but have at it. Peace, dudes.